My dream barn would be a riding school with pony club education. This would be an insulated barn, mostly made of wood. I've built a model using Minecraft. There are 10 equines, 9 horses, a donkey, and 2 llamas. There are stable cards featured in the build that include important information about the horse's height, age, workload, name, and discipline. Each stall is approximately 12 by 15 feet, with each Minecraft block measuring approximately 2 feet for scale. Minecraft gates can open in either direction and are also very low to the ground, but ideally they would open outward to prevent interference with the horse. The floor is made out of concrete with rubber mats in the stalls, and the bedding is shavings. There's a drain in every stall away from the hay net, water, and feed manger. There's a small portable water trough in each stall. The windows have bars to prevent horses trying to break the windows. They are high up with an overhang to prevent cold air from falling on the horses' backs. The rest of the stable area includes a fire extinguisher, a water area for filling buckets, 2 extra grooming stalls for things like clipping and braiding, and there's also an anti-weaving grill on one of the stalls. Next up is the feed room, attached to the stable area, but the doors remain closed at all times to prevent the horses from getting into the feed. There are 7 feed bins, each filled with different grains and concentrates. There is beet pulp, oats, sweet feed / molasses meal, cubes, bran, flax, and complete feed. There are 4 storage bins for horses' supplements and extra vitamins and minerals. There is a sink area for washing out buckets and a bench for flexible seating. There is a bin of scoops for feed and buckets for feed, as well as bookshelves about feeding. Finally, there is a large whiteboard with each of the horses' diets on it. Beside the feed room is the storage room. There's a large area of containment for shavings and a few bales of hay that are currently in use. There are 2 large storage containers for large bags of grain. There are 3 wheelbarrows for mucking out and 4 wheelbarrows for distributing things like shavings among the horses' stalls. After leaving the stable area, we will come over to the tack room. In here, there are multiple areas for seating and a bookshelf full of horse books. There is a bridle for each of the equines, each one clearly marked with their name and multiple different types of saddles for them. There is a tack cleaning area with 2 saddle racks, a bridle rack, and a fire extinguisher. There's also an AED, storage for saddle soaps as well as leather conditioner and sponges. There's also a large sink in the tack cleaning area. On the wall, we list the paddock buddies that can go together in the paddocks. There's also a first aid area for both humans and horses. After the tack room, we arrive at the arena and viewing area. Here, there's a fire extinguisher and a large set of bleachers for spectators. There's also an arena storage area full of things for making jumps and other riding or groundwork exercises. In the arena, which has a sand-like footing, there is a combination of small verticals, a combination of 2 large oxers, and a set of weaving poles to practice steering. Now we are moving out to the wash stalls. They are located outside near the main door. There is a large hose. Sorry, this is the best I could do to make a hose on Minecraft. And there are 2 cross-tied wash stalls with an overhang, and each wash stall has a large drain to prevent excess water and thrush. Next, we will make our way over to the Pony Club classroom. Here there are 2 cross-tie areas to teach practical work with the horses. There's a large patio-like overhang over the cross-ties so that Pony Club can still continue regardless of the weather. When you enter the classroom, on your left, there's a small library to aid in our Pony Club knowledge. There are 4 two-person desks, and then 2 seats at the front for the instructors. Finally, there's a large whiteboard for teaching lessons. Moving on to the paddocks. There are 2 main paddocks, each with a hay supply and water trough outside, as well as a shelter with 2 hay nets, a water trough, a drain, and at least 2 points of ventilation. The flooring in the shelter is the same as in the stalls. There's also an isolation field for a horse to still be able to move around comfortably while restricting access to other horses, which is where horses go through their 2-week quarantine while entering the stable. We also have a small outdoor arena for introduction to cross-country work. Finally, we have a very large cross-country course with many different types of jumps. There are hedges, a tiger trap, a coop, and a bank platform. There are also multiple ditches, some with jumps over top. Now let's make our way to the muck heap. In here, there's drainage, and this is where the mucking wheelbarrows are dumped. Last but not least, we move to the hay barn. Right next to a fire hydrant, we have this lovely structure that is my hay barn. Here there is enough storage for 34 bales of hay without having to stack them. There's also small ridges in the main pathway to prevent excess dust from being brought in with the hay. And behind this hay barn, there's a compost pile where the stuff from the muck heap is dumped and kept downwind of the barn. As you can see at the top of my barn, we have 4 large solar panels, as I would try to make my barn as energy efficient as possible. In conclusion, this modern barn would need the following people to keep it running smoothly: a stable manager, volunteers, an administrative assistant, riding instructors, students, pony club representative and educator, as well as me, the barn owner.